right, welcome to the Rocket Launcher podcast. This is episode 136. We late to the party, somewhat late to the party, but I am your host, Supreme King. Join with me as always is my co-host, and his name is...
The guy who amazes.
All right, cool. The weather is changing. I'm really enjoying it. I think we had other things going on last week, so we kind of missed-ish. But, I mean, some of the stuff that was, like, really happening is really going to be all included in one of the topics from last week to this week anyway. Which is centered around this ever-growing story with the Switch 2. Because I guess they showed their Mario Kart Direct, which went from that to the whole pre-order situation, and we'll cover it. But I wanted to start off with this gorgeous game that I have on the screen. This is Clair Obscur Expedition33. Very hot in the streets right now. I didn't think it would catch on as big as it is right now. I will say for me, I do think it is definitely a Game of the Year contender. But I do want to give it its props. It came on the scene, hit the ground running. It's like we kind of knew about it from like the Xbox Direct earlier in the year, but it was just like, here's a game that's going to be on Game Pass. Next thing you know, the game itself has done like 1 million in sales in 3 days, which is excellent. It was also a game that was like discounted on a lot of different platforms from the very beginning. Like, it was to the point where if you was really playing your cards right, you could have gotten this game for like $35 on Steam. I believe it's on sale for $44.99 on Epic. It normally retails for $50. It's a very gorgeous game. It's a turn-based game with a very rich story. In this footage you can see some cinematics, but I have purposely cut out a lot of the stuff that was happening in the beginning that really hooks you in, because I want people to just, enjoy it and be like wowed from that moment. And it's really just showing some cinematics where people just kind of walk around for a little bit, and I think there might be some combat here and there, but amazing game, honestly. I jumped into Game Pass just because I was trying to play a few different things, and this was one of them. And I've seen a lot of clips online where people are saying, or a lot of posts online where they're saying like, which game should I play, this or Oblivion? And I honestly was like torn in the very, very beginning, because Oblivion just sort of came out of nowhere, and we'll cover it in a second. Yeah. But I had already scheduled myself to play this, so I was like, I'm gonna start with this anyway. And then I will go to Oblivion once one of my other games is stopped and I have time to put something in rotation. But Clair Obscur Expedition33 is like, people were saying this is what gaming needed right now. I know. Yes. It's kind of crazy to say all of that stuff. I do think I kind of have to agree though. It was something that was different, and it wasn't littered with a bunch of politics or anything. It was just, here's a unique story, and then just play it, basically.
I agree. So, to answer the question of should you play this or Oblivion, unless you're a person who, like, I prefer this over this in terms of, like, turn-based versus just action-based, right? If it's literally, like, I just cannot decide which of the two to play, I would say Clair Obscur, just because, one, Oblivion ain't going nowhere, right? It's made its money. It's gonna do fine. It's not like the studio like continuation relies on the sales of or the play times of Oblivion, and the player amount for Oblivion is not gonna affect Elder Scrolls 6, even though it is doing well. So it's it's a good highlight. It's gonna be just fine. But I feel like in terms of like this is what gaming needed. As strong of a statement as that is, I think it's true, and some of it has to do with what you said with like the lack of politics, the lack of big business being involved, the lack of just like all of these like funders and like all of like there's no extra ears inside of the developers. The developers were able to make the thing they wanted to make and like release it, and it's doing really well. It came out really well. People are enjoying it. And it's like, that's what needs to be supported. and that needs to continue being supported until some of these other studios, these AAA studios, and I'm not saying the developers, but like the people in charge, can get through their thick heads that this is the way it like should be. It should be more passion project, like things that people actually care about, not a bunch of politic or what makes us the most money fastest. Because the money's gonna come in if you get the passion for it, right? This is considered what, double A, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like a double A studio made a game that's available on Game Pass, and look how many sales it's still got, right? Like, all in all, people could have essentially, with the subscription service, basically paid. It's almost like a movie coming on Netflix and everyone going out to buy it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what's making the money? Because people can just see the passion behind it, and it's good, right? It's a good game that, like, is obviously cared about, and they didn't have to do all the extra, like, people-pleasing things for the people who aren't even going to play it. So yeah, this is if you would really have to decide between the two, and you're not like waiting to get one or anything like that, I would say Clair Obscur.
Expedition33 is a breath of fresh air, but I know why people are saying is what gaming needed, because we just got done talking about how the industry is trying to find a way to make you pay for an $80 title. Yep. And the $85 or $80 titles are a lot of these, sequels, remasters, a bunch of stuff you've been playing like way too long. Mm-hmm. There's nothing new, no new IPs being shown. And then you have this. Shout out to Xbox for presenting this on a bigger stage, because it is a new game. It's a new IP. It's not like something that's just kind of trying to milk the industry. It's just, here it is. They've found ways to, questionably for me, lower the price any little way they could, because this thing was on sale on so many different platforms as a brand new title. And it probably is roughly half of what, the $80 the $80 titles that we've been talking about recently, which is like the same old thing. Like, is like Mario Kart, for example, is like, well, people played this forever. Like, they don't want to say they haven't, but they played it forever. And here's something that's just a new experience that it does have some influences here and there that I can recognize, but it's a new story. And I don't play turn-based that much. I'm very selective when it comes to turn-based stuff. But this grabbed my attention, and I do want to play it. I remember when Xbox first showed it off, my thought process is that I'm going to turn on Game Pass again and keep it on for a little bit longer. But I'm looking at Doom. I'm looking at like some of the other ones from before, Starfield, Flintlock, Lies of P and stuff. This was not really on my radar. It was just another game that was there. But because it was brand new, I was like, I'll start with it. And I'm playing it with a couple other games. I actually downloaded like almost 10 of them. But I was just like, this one kind of hooked me, to be honest. It really did. There is one other game. I'm playing 2 games. The second game is going to show in the second footage at some point. But this one it looks gorgeous, and like this footage doesn't really do it justice because this is just the rendered down footage for the podcast. But playing this on my computer with the 4090, it looks amazing, honestly. I wouldn't have thought it was a AA game, or the price of it being as low as it was at the very beginning. But yeah, it's definitely a Game of the Year contender. As crazy as that sounds off of the impressions and stuff, I think it is. I think as a story as well, they're not holding back, and they're not like insulting your intelligence. That's such a big thing for me, because a lot of people have that where it's like, here's a hint and I'll just tell you the hint, or here's a puzzle or something in front of you and I'm like, I got some secondary character walking around with you, telling you what to do the entire time and stuff like that. It's not really present here. It's like you're playing the game. You're just simply playing it. And it's very effective what they've put together. It's obviously took the industry by storm overnight. And I applaud it. As a brand new IP that's like cheaper, which it's funny how you can get these type of sales when it's like that. Because you throw another game out there and you throw an $80 price tag on it, nobody's going to touch it. It's just, they're not even going to look into it. It's just going to just sit there until it drops down to that $40 price range. But if games were $40, people will run out there and buy it and play it. Yep. Just like what was happening here. And you'll see more sales because of that.
They don't think that way. For some reason, it's because they're not thinking long-term about anything, right? Like, everything has to be the immediate, how do I get the most money day one, and then it don't work, and then they're like, well, it's not our fault.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm only still within a few hours of this game. I'm not that far in. Like I said before, I've purposely cut the footage to not show very specific things. So you're just gonna see them walking around and stuff, and maybe a little bit of action here and there. But trust me when I say it is still a very big, impactful game to start the summer or get into the beginnings right before the summer. And I think it should get all the accolades that it can get at the end of the year, at the Game of the Year. Or the Game Awards. Maybe it won't make full Game of the Year. Definitely got to be Game for Impact or Game. What some of them categories. This has to win something. It has to win something. It doesn't have to be the game, but it needs to be like recognized for what it's done. Especially if we're going to do something like Belantro and something ain't nobody heard about until the last minute. It's like this one definitely has to be shown somewhere. And that's all I really need to say about it. I'm really excited about what I'm playing. I think I will probably touch on it a little bit more throughout the month coming up, and I'll have more footage, but I am still going to purposely cut it a certain way. Because I think with this game, people do need to experience it like straight up, like really experience it. So it's not really gameplay here. It's just a lot of walking and talking, but that's just to preserve it, you know what I mean, for the people who should get into this. But I think that's all I really got to say about this. Is there anything else you want to mention?
No, I'm just happy to hear that it's doing well. Shout out to that studio. Let's go AA.
I do want to pivot real quick while we got this footage up to something like a little bit off topic, but not off topic. The Playdate. Shout out to the Playdate. We have not talked about the Playdate in some time. But in the middle of, questionably in the middle of Nintendo's Mario Kart Direct and a lot of other stuff that they were trying to like tell you about leading up to the Switch 2's release, Playdate decided to do their own Direct on their own page on the same day. Which I don't really know why they did that. I just thought that was kind of funny, but I did take a look at it. It was really just a short video of like updates for their platform, and it wasn't too much going on. It was just they mentioned that they're going to have a season 2. And what they mean by a season 2 is just like where you can order a season of their games for the Playdate, and one is supposed to unlock, I think, either once a week or twice a week. I think it's once a week. One's supposed to unlock once a week, and it's supposed to be 12 games. And so I imagine this is 12 weeks, and one of them said that with a surprise, so maybe it's 13 titles. And they showed off a bunch of those titles in their little direct thing that they did. And one of them I actually liked. I wrote down and I was like, okay, if I get this thing I will play this. And it was Terra and Como, I believe, which is a swinging platformer type game that you still use the gimmick with the crank and all that other stuff. And so yeah, I wrote that down. The Playdate, still the same price as before. Nothing else has really changed about the system. I don't think they have any other colors or anything like that either. It's still the yellow Playdate. And it's still its regular format where there's no color to the Playdate yet. It's just simply the same thing. But they did a direct, or they did a some sort of update. And yeah, man, 12 games. They unlock once a week. I thought that was an interesting thing. And the season is $39 apparently, and it starts May 29th, 2025. So later on,
yeah. Do you get to keep the games?
Yeah, you still keep them. You keep them. So if anybody out there who has like season 1, they still got those. It's just the way this works, because they're in this season thing. You don't just buy them and get them right away. It's sort of a thing that they're doing where it's just like, we'll give it to you once a week or something. So I don't know how that works, but so if anybody is trying to get, if there's like one title in there, like that might be the drawback. Like it's really one title you might want. It's possible that it might come last and you gotta wait 12 weeks for it. Maybe something like that. But it is $39, so $39 for 12 games isn't really that bad depending on how you look at it. I know Playdate is a very, very, very niche thing, but I will say, hey, no matter what we looking at right now, Playdate is still currently the cheapest system on the market with the most exclusives. I'm just saying. Cheapest one with the most exclusives. We can't argue that. Is there an argument against that? I mean, hey.
It's a fact.
So I'm like, why everybody ain't getting it? I don't know. Y'all hating on the Playdate. They giving you exactly what you want.
Do you have it?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Y'all want to get it. It's got the most exclusives. I'm saying. Cheapest price we ain't talking about is even the Switch can't say it's 200 no more. They talking about they didn't doubled it. The Playdate didn't come out here and say nothing. They ain't say nothing about tariffs and all this other stuff. They ain't say none of that. They said we got more exclusives coming. We gonna drop 12. I'm just saying 13 technically. They said it was a surprise up in there somewhere. Hey. Your favorite platform didn't say they was gonna drop 12 exclusives this year, did they? No, they didn't. They didn't. So I don't know why y'all hating on the Playdate. Playdate is available right now, and you can pre-order the season 2. Anything else you want to say about the Playdate? Anything at all?
Keep it going.
Keep it going.
Keep moving. Yeah.
Keep it alive.
Like keep working at it, man. Like support they said. This is great. Like we need the competition. Do your thing.
One day my co-host might buy the Playdate. I don't know how much else. What else I gotta say to him? Maybe he'll get it one day.
Why don't you get it?
Chat. Maybe he'll get it one day.
Oh my god.
Anyways, I could also mention, because this is probably going to lead right into our Nintendo topic in a second. It has been brought to my attention that one of my favorite emulator creators, who seems to come out with a new thing every month, they actually kept coming out with stuff and I just kind of stopped covering it. Ambernick, who comes out with all of these Game Boy Advance looking things that can play all these different things, they have mentioned that they had to halt on shipping to America for a split second. I don't know, it might be back on, but they basically had to deal with their own form of, like, you know, price issues centered around their system, which usually is not really expensive at all. So it's like maybe they might be in a situation where they might not see any money at all coming from these things if they have to pay like a tax just to ship in America.
Right.
Weirdly
Luckily,
enough,
they did say some of their older stuff you could still get easily, like during that time, because they have a warehouse here with some things, and then the warehouse overseas. So like basically, if it's here, you can get it. But if it's still from overseas, yeah, you're gonna have to wait.
yeah. So one of the most recent ones that I got was called the RG40XXV, which is the horizontal. Actually, no, not horizontal. Vertical handheld that looks very similar to like a Game Boy Color. And then they had the horizontal one that came out just afterwards, which looked like a Game Boy Advanced, and all types of shapes and sizes, and they're all doing the same thing. So whatever type of device that you like the most, you can just get it, and it's gonna come with the ability to play all of your favorite childhood games. And like once you stack the thing up, it'll be like an incredible little system. But if you were trying to hold off for whatever reason, maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you actually want to go and grab the thing as soon as you can at some point. If there is something that's available, if it's online and it's not like taxed. I know it was already taxed on like Amazon when people would put it on Amazon. Those guys wanted like a lot of money, so like $80 or $90 on there. And so I don't know if it sounds like that's what the official ones are going to do, but I would say pull the trigger and buy one as soon as you can if you really want one. I wouldn't wait on that, because really it's the system that you're worried about. Everything else, I mean, you can just get over time, which is like the case, the SD cards and stuff, because it might take you some time to load it up if you were trying to like really get the most out of it anyway. But yeah, tariffs, man. What are your thoughts on it affecting emulation of all things?
It sucks. Like it sucks that this is happening. That it kind of like puts in the perspective that we might need an American manufacturer as well for some of these, because then tariffs you wouldn't have to necessarily worry about. I just hate the idea. It's like pay more or pull triggers, or like you have to rush to get something because who knows how much it's going to cost the next day. That just always bothers me.
Yeah. I think the good news though here, there was a second part to this. The device, the RG40XXV, that particular device has been recognized and nominated as the favorite gaming gear device, I guess, from the Gaming Gear Awards, which some award show I've never heard of. I don't necessarily care to watch the award show, but I'll at least give it its props that it was nominated as one of the like favorite devices to get, out there. So that thing must have blew up amongst the community, which is really cool because it is a very, very, very good device. Like no lie, like if you really load that thing up. I have like little to no complaints. I mean, obviously, because it's emulation, here and there a game or two is just not going to work right. But the value that you get out of it, it's like it'll be a few games here that didn't work, but out of that, it's still thousands, like literally thousands that do work. And did you want to mention anything about this device, the XXV?
No, it's a fantastic device. It's crazy how much is on there. It's almost like I have to really think of like which game I want to play, because if I just start looking, it gets very overwhelming because of how much I have on there. But no, it's a wonderful device. Got me through some quiet times for sure.
Yeah, I really like it. I've had the Mayu Mini for a really long time before it, which was roughly a year to a year and a half before. So I was already used to it, and with this device it was like a little bit bigger and more comfortable in my hands. And then also I had you know, the little joystick, which was exceptionally like amplifying like the games you can play on there, because now you can play like some of the other stuff like all the way up to Dreamcast, right? And so, you know, definitely get your hands on one if you can. Now, because I can see this footage is about to change in a second. I do want to mention the next game, which is on my list, South of Midnight, which is the one that I was really looking forward to playing the most. South of Midnight is still great in itself. I will say Expedition33 has caught my attention a little bit more, but for the game that's not necessarily a you know, turn-based, is actually just action adventure, a little bit of platforming. They did a very good job. Very, very good job. I will say, as a game, combat-wise, it seems to me, just from the beginning impressions of it, that they're attempting to give you combat that's like a little bit more watered down compared to like God of War. But it's like you're still doing similar things. Like instead of having the blades of Olympics or Blade of Chaos, like she just has these two hook things that she has, and we'll probably see it at some point in the footage. But this is another game where I didn't really show too much of spoiler territory stuff. It's just really, really in the beginning. But I do want to address one thing about it. There was a lot of people who were saying things about like, this is considered woke because of X, Y, and Z, or this is considered like a triggering kind of game or whatever. Woke might be a little bit strong of a word for it, because I don't think this is really pushing an agenda. It's really just showing you some, you know, events from a certain time frame. But I will say it definitely could trigger some people. It is one of those games that has when they were talking about the context of it, it's definitely there. It definitely it speaks on a certain time period that is very, very relevant in the Black community. I'll put it that way. I mean, obviously you can kind of see that. But they put a fantasy twist on very, very like triggering Black History Month type stuff, basically. Which it was pretty much understood just from the comments that people were saying that that's probably what you were going to walk into, but they never really say it in the game. It's just kind of, you have to pick up on some stuff. And this is another thing where I will want people to just go ahead and play it and understand. But a lot of people who are like hip to the game, they will probably know exactly what's going on. Excuse me. I do want to compare it a little bit to Forspoken. Forspoken was always trying to go with like this fantasy thing. You're dropped into a world and stuff is just happening. The girl here was just kind of phasing into a fantasy world and stuff was just happening. Similar, but they did it so much better here with like the combat, with her, the controls. The girl here is like nowhere near as annoying as in Forspoken. And it's really done very well. And like I said before with the other footage and stuff, I really am excited about some of the things that Xbox is doing right now, because they're presenting you a lot of new IPs, and it's a very big it's a breath of fresh air, because with the other systems and stuff, the things we've been talking about lately was just price increase, and we ain't really seeing new IPs. You know what I mean? And these guys are just dropping new IPs. They have like old stuff too. Like Oblivion obviously is going to be a big deal for a lot of people. But in the middle of giving you the old, they're giving you new as well. And like with Nintendo, that was something I didn't really see too much. It was just like, well, here's this wheelchair basketball game. I forgot the name of it, but it didn't really seem like much of new. It was just, here's more of the same. It's just packaged as new. But what I want to see is new. I want to see something that's like, well, it just don't got like a 20-year history thing. It's something we've never seen before. It's a new concept, new idea. You know what I'm saying? Take risks. Come out here and give us something to play. Nice. Yeah, and South of Midnight is one of those things. I will say for myself, it does remind me of like family and stuff that I do have in the South. Some of the way that they've structured the world, how people communicate with each other. I'm very much like used to some of that because I have family in the South. So their accents, how they talk, how they interact with each other, it's not new to me. It might be new to somebody else who might not be from the South or might not have like family in the South or something like that. But for me, it was like I understood everything that was going on. I understood the lingo. So it's a game that I can vibe with. I do want to say one thing though. I understand where people be wanting to say like this is woke and that is woke. At least with this game, it's its own thing. And it's one thing. I don't necessarily need to see 4 or 5 more games like this touching on the same type of subject matter. And I definitely don't need to see these type of characters hijacking other platforms, movies, TV shows and stuff that's been out for years, been doing something the same way. But we've got other agendas out there that absolutely do that.
But I think there's also a difference between taking something that happened and reframing it and preaching at people, right? And this doesn't feel, from what you're describing, it's not really preaching at people. It's just taking something that unfortunately happened and just recontextualizing it as more of a setting versus you need to learn this. Like, it doesn't come off as that, where like, you know, you have a lot of, with some of your agenda stuff, it's like the decision we're making is specifically because you need to learn this or you need to understand this or this needs to be accepted or something like that, versus like this feels more like the fact that like Assassin's Creed 3 takes place during the American Revolution. Well, yeah, it's going to talk about the American Revolution because it takes place in the American Revolution. It's not trying to preach a story that America's better than Britain or the other way around. It's not trying to like preach at you that like, look at what you all did to Native Americans. It was, nope, this is what happened during the American Revolution. This is just what happened. And like, I feel like from what you're describing, this game is more like, this is where it takes place. This is, you know, how we contextualize it, but it's not trying to like, look what you did. Like, it's not trying to do that.
Yeah,
So
in the very beginning, yeah, it's way more about the South in the beginning, but as you play, there's going to be the fantasy aspect that comes into play, because obviously, you know, they're going to introduce like creatures or monsters, and you have some powers, and kind of like what Forspoken was doing, but this is done so much better, so much better. And it's just a new title that came from an Xbox studio, and they just say, hey, here's this game. We dropped it for you day one on Game Pass. It's another AA-ish title. This one I didn't play on the PC. This is footage coming straight from Xbox Series X. And it still looks great. It looks dope. And I don't really have any complaints. Obviously, it's not as good as far as combat wise as God of War. And the story is different from, you know, God of War or something. I don't want to compare it to that. I mean, that's a kind of good comparison though, but it's not in any shape or form better than what God of War is. It's just when I played the combat and stuff, it reminded me of it, but it's still a lot more flashy, like how Forspoken was. Like the girls like really jumping around and doing stuff. But another breath of fresh air for me. Now I will say the subject matter can trigger you a little bit. It has some of that stuff where it was kind of triggering in some areas. It's like like there's a couple of parts where it's clear as day what they're referencing, where it's like, oh shoot, I don't think little kids really should be here. So that's some of the stuff you just have to be aware of with this particular game.
So on
now,
a side note, I just saw the transition thing where you have to squeeze through a small crevice to get to the next part. And I've always wondered for that and God of War and games like that, what if it was a little too small? Is the game over for the person? Like, they always it's like, all right, let me get to the side, so let me just squeeze through these two rocks.
You're just stuck between rocks.
Yeah, like when the rocks for Kratos were always exactly Kratos' size.
Yeah.
What if you had to play as Thor? And you had to try and get through.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want you to think that hard into it.
I guess just once I want the crevice to be too big. Something to show that it's just not always exactly like, let me turn to the side and shimmy through, and I just fit. Like, just one time, let me just walk through.
Yeah, that's the new transition mode for a lot of new developers to help like the area on the other side load real quick, and just you can't see it loading.
Every single one of them is turn to the side, my back's on one side, my stomach's on the other, and I shimmy through, but it's all of them. Just give me one where it's a little too big, or the person maybe has to maneuver up a little bit and spider walk. Like something.
Well, the other thing you can see on the screen right now is like the places where you need to jump to is all conveniently painted. That's the thing in gaming too, where it's like follow the paint, basically. It's just like this random smear of paint just on the wall somewhere. That's like a whole thing in itself, and so that's something I'm doing here is kind of just following the paint to get to where I needed to jump and everything. And it doesn't take me out of the game, but I can see where somebody might say that takes me out of the game because now I'm reading between the lines a little bit of what the developer wants you to do in certain areas. But I didn't let that distract me. I still have fun with this. I will say South of Midnight is definitely shorter than Clair Obscur Expedition33. I think this will not last me. Like, I'm still in the beginning, but I think I might be done with it in like 2 weeks. And that's playing casually because I got other stuff I gotta do. But I do want to say too, for both games, sound design is excellent. Just very good music, very good. Like it fits the tone that they're trying to set, which is hard for some people to do. Where Claire does this like very, very well, where each and every second counts. Like the music is done like precisely to fit what they're trying to portray in a cutscene or something. But in this game, the music is still very good. It's a lot of South spiritual type songs. A lot of that soulful sound. So just be aware that it fits the tone. It's stuff, like I said, that I'm very used to, things that I've grown up with, because I understand that culture very well. But yeah, man, Game Pass is on fire. I can't complain at all, because I didn't even get to Oblivion for this footage or for this week. And I might not actually do that for a while, but they got a lot of stuff in there, and I'm appreciating the new stuff. This is another game that I don't think is $80 or not $80, but $70 either. Both of these games are AA games, fresh, new IPs, and they're not costing you an arm and a leg. You know what I mean? But I do think they can become healthy franchises if they are staying true to the material and really add to what they've built so far. It'll be great in the long run. But yeah, is anything else you want to say about this title?
No.
Okay. I can probably move ahead to one of the bigger topics that's like new and old, technically. Did you see the Mario Kart World Direct?
No. I was still kind of mad at Nintendo and going through all my stuff.
The Direct was 17 minutes long, or just under 17 minutes, like 16 minutes and some change. And
Was it really going to show anything new? I thought they fully explained.
they just showed the game. To be honest, they didn't really. It wasn't too much more that really needed to be said. The only thing that I thought was interesting is that they turned the Yoshi, like Yoshi had like some sort of fast food thing on the side where you can just drive up to it and like quote unquote order food and then drive back into the race, and the food was changing your outfits, and I don't know what else it does, but that was like the only thing really. um
Weird that they're trying to make you like live inside of a racing world. Like the game is racing, dude. Just race. Like I don't know. Like when they even said the whole like one of the advertisements that you can just kind of casually drive around and do stuff. Like the world still looked kind of empty, and I feel like people ain't about to be spending hours like that in the Mario Kart. But okay. Hey,
yeah,
they're trying something new-ish in the game. That's fine. Never mind. Let me talk about it.
I mean, it's a lot of new shiny courses, and then some old courses are reimagined or remastered for this game, something like that. They got old and new characters. They have their Grand Prix mode, which is nothing new, and then Knockout Tour, I think is what they mentioned. 24 racers might be the new thing. Because it's up to 24 people online all at one time. And you can drive yourself to the next course, which is probably a part of the whole world thing. Driving to a new course, new items. One of them that I noticed that they kept showing off was like a feather or something. And then the Joy-Con 2, they were showing off that a little bit. The fast food restaurant thing that I was already talking about. I don't know about, because I didn't really play Mario Kart 8. I'm going to be honest. I didn't play Mario Kart 8 like that.
I did.
Could you grind on the rails or drive up across the wall in Mario Kart 8?
No. Unless, like, the only way is if the map, like, we goes that way or there's, like, a ramp on the side.
Okay.
But other than that, no. It was just, you had to race like a normal person.
Okay, because they were making a lot of emphasis on that, and that was something that I think was kind of new, because I didn't really see too much about it. They do have the rewind feature, which is very notable. That's known for being with the game Forza, where if you crash or mess up the car or mess up a turn or something, you can hit rewind for a few seconds and like start it and do it again. And then they have the charge jump feature, which I know is a part of the Hot Wheels series. So I'm like, they took some stuff from a couple of different places and put it in their game. But yeah, you can free roam around where you just kind of drive around like we just said. And then there are like coins in different areas and little switches that have the P on it, which is supposed to be like missions where you just kind of drive and do obstacles freely while everybody is driving around in the same world. I can imagine if it's free roam and up to 24 people can drive against each other, that the free roam is probably 24 people per server, something like that. Photo mode is there. They got 4-player split screen, which I thought was interesting. The game chat they talked about. Say it again.
They've always had 4-player split screen.
Yeah, I think what I meant by that though is like, they've had it, but then they have it with that camera thing.
Oh yeah.
With the where it can detect 4 faces on one camera. That's what I forgot to mention. So like if y'all all in the same house and y'all on the couch or something, and that camera is facing y'all, it can detect your face and put it in the corner it needs to be.
That's cool. That's
Which is
weird
a
that,
whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's weird because if you're all on the couch together, you can see each other. But I guess, is it like all 4 of you can play in 4 server? Is that what it is? Or?
I mean, I would imagine so. 4 people are in the same living room. They're all connected to each other as player 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the game is supposed to detect each face from that one camera, that camera that everybody's making fun of for being low quality. It's supposed to be able to detect and put your face in the corner that it's supposed to be on the 4. That's what they say. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, that was a whole thing. And then obviously that leads into the pre-orders. So you could pre-order this with the system and everything else, and do all of that jazz. Now, have you heard about, I guess, the disaster known as the pre-orders? It was just not doing too well.
I don't know any more than, like, they had to stall it, and then they re-put it out, and then something happened where it went bad. I just don't remember the details.
So, the pre-order started on time, which I think was something like midnight or something. But for a lot of people, it was crashing. People were like on like some sort of waiting list and was put at the end of the list when they were still waiting for whatever reason, just because of maybe connection issues or something. Target was one of those places that just flat out was canceling pre-orders, apparently. Like, you did the whole thing and it just canceled on you. And it was just a mess. I guess for some people, they got it into their cart and was trying to pay on it, but couldn't. And because they were trying too many times, they were getting flagged by their banks and stuff that there was like fraud and all that stuff. So all of that was happening. It was a crazy night, apparently.
In the store. If you could just show up to the store and pre-order it, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing too, because I think GameStop was allowing you to do that, but then they only had so many, and then at the same time they were kind of leveraging it a little bit, like you had to be a GameStop member and all that stuff. Little stuff like that was happening. But yeah, it just wasn't completely like a straightforward system that was fair. Like, you had to do stuff, apparently, from what I was hearing. I will say, Thursday was when this happened. Thursday was not, or Wednesday really for me, was not a good day for me. Thursday wasn't either. But I could tell you more about what was going on off air. But in the middle of it, I went to sleep, right? And then woke up to go use the bathroom on a Thursday night, and got okay, you see, first off, let me say this real quick. You see on the screen, she got these little hook things.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. Like, she used them like blades of chaos. But that's what I meant. And she does like some like powers stuff and everything in there. So you get to see a little bit of the fancy stuff from this point on. But what I wanted to say is, like, I got up at like a little bit past 1 a.m. To use the bathroom, and completely forgot about the Switch 2's like pre-order situation, right? I had like really forgot. And I came and laid back down and looked at my phone, and I saw that it was doing it, like everybody was doing it. And there was like all these like tweets and stuff like, it's up right now, the pre-orders is up right now. And I was like, okay. So I clicked on it to see what was going on, and it put me in a queue as well. And I was like looking at it and kind of still like thinking about some like personal stuff that was going on, and not really focusing too much on it. But I couldn't really sleep because of that. And so I was like, all right, I had it on my phone. I'm looking at it. I was like, oh, I want to document this for the podcast. How long will it take for me or whatever? And so I just got up and I got on my regular computer and like pulled up Twitch on my other computer and some stuff just to keep it going. And I stayed up for a while. I was just kind of just sitting there, and I looked at it and I was looking at other stuff, and I was trying to like see what was all like available. Like I was in and out of sleep, like, and forgot about like all my notes and stuff from before. Cause I was sitting there trying to find Metroid Prime 4. And I was like, why is Metroid not there? I was like looking, I forgot Metroid wasn't like an available day one, like everything else was, I guess, or like a couple things was. But because when they showed their initial direct, they showed a whole bunch of games, but it really crossed my mind. It hadn't crossed my mind that Metroid was still coming out later on in the year, and then some of them other games were still coming out later on in the year. And I was just looking at the lineup, and I'm like, is that it? I don't see nothing. That's just how I was feeling. I was like, is that it? And next thing you know, I was like, okay, I want to turn this off my phone because I want to look at my phone. So I was like, let me pull up the pre-order thing on my computer because I'd rather just look at it there while I'm looking at Twitch and stuff, just sitting here. But then it like literally changed in my phone. It changed to the other screen. So I did it on Best Buy because I don't go to all them other places. I barely got a Target by me anymore anyway. So I wasn't one of those people who Target was playing or whatever. But I put it up on Best Buy. And so what happened with my experience is that it said you need to verify your account. And I was like, verify my account. And I'm like, what is exactly they want you to do? And so I was like, okay. And I'm clicking at it. And it was like, what's like the last 4 digits of your phone number? And then something else. I forgot. It was like 2 things. And then I was like, okay. And I kind of put the last 4 digits of my phone number on there. And then it sent me a code. It was almost like 2-factor authentication. I'm like, y'all do it too much for this little game system. Because that's kind of how you would log into like your real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Your important stuff like the bank or maybe social media too. And I basically did it, and it sent me a code, like a little 6-digit code, and then I put it in there, and then it buffered for a little while, and I'm just kind of looking at it like I was literally about to turn this off. And then it went to the screen where it was just like, it's in your cart. And I just looked at it and I was just like, really? It's in the cart? And it had like a, so this is still Best Buy. Best Buy has a 10-minute, I guess, countdown where it's like you have 10 minutes to buy this or you don't have it no more or whatever. And I just stared at it and was looking like, what did I even put in this cart? Because I didn't even do nothing. And I went to I was still on the computer trying to find Metroid Prime, because I actually do want to buy Metroid Prime right away because I want to support Metroid, because I don't feel like Nintendo does Metroid type titles. Everything is like kindergarten usually. And I'm like, I'd rather see something that look a little bit more mature every now and then. Like, I understand that's not Nintendo's thing at all. Was like, give me something. You know what I mean? Just give me something. But I couldn't find Metroid, and it was just on there, and it was kind of like counting down. I'm looking at it. Still upset with some other stuff that I'm gonna tell you about later. And I ain't gonna hold you up, bro. You already know I was about to say it. I just pressed buy. I just did. I literally just did it. And I remember going back to sleep, and it was like, I gotta go back to this place the next day, and like almost thought it was a dream or something at one point, because I was just like, did I really just do that? Because I still had like errands and stuff to run the next day and everything. I went to the bank and did a whole bunch of stuff. And then I like checked the account, and I could see that it said like, this is the purchase and everything. And I was like, yo, I really did just buy that. Because I literally don't plan on like opening it up because I'm really gonna play Game Pass all summer. But yeah, bro, I actually did. I bought it. I literally bought it.
Prices ain't never gonna go down, y'all. Cause y'all
I literally just bought it.
I'll buy it. I hate the price of the console. I'm gonna buy the console. I hate the price of the game. I'm gonna buy the game. And Nintendo's never gonna learn. So yep, everybody just went out and bought it. It was sad for me, really. It was just like, oh well, I'm not getting it. Like, unless that thing goes down in price, games can't be up to 180. I'm good.
I think the version was the Mario Kart version. So it was like, I forgot. I think that one is like where they discounted it right inside of the system.
Sure.
So yeah, that's the one that it came with. And then
no complaining about prices. You bought it. No complaining about prices.
I mean, I complain for everybody else when it comes to that, but for me, it was an emotional buy. It was like I was really thinking about some other stuff, but I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, I did buy it. I bought it. I admit to it. I think there's only one model. It was the all black model.
Evolution.
So
you also said you were waiting for the special edition one. See, you're messing up.
I'll probably trade it back in for it, or I might. Yeah, whatever. It has to look good though, whatever it is. So I just got it. Yeah, I bought it. It was really a on the spot thing. I kind of just woke back up and then I saw it on my phone, and when it was just sitting right there, I just looked at it and I was just like, I guess it ain't gonna hurt, and just bought it.
You gotta justify it to yourself.
I'm still probably not gonna play it for a little while because I'm knee deep in Game Pass. I'm gonna stick with that for a little while. But yeah. There is one other thing that was probably already addressed, but I have wrote this down about the Zelda cloud saves rumor, where apparently your saves won't transfer from a Switch to the Switch 2 unless you had the online, and then not only that, like it still might not do it for whatever reason. Which nobody's gonna ever be able to confirm that until that thing actually comes out. But it does seem a little odd because there's the Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom like upgrade packs, which is a little, somebody gonna have to explain this one to me, because from my understanding, to upgrade is $10, right? But because of this cloud slave thing, to move your saves over, you need to have the online, right? But the online, the expansion pack version is supposed to come with the upgrade. So it's like, then what would be the point of buying it then? You know what I mean? Like, I don't, that might have, somebody have to explain that one to me. Maybe I don't got that right. But you would, if you wasn't trying to pay for the online and you wanted to pay for the upgrade, you could still play the game, but you have to play with a fresh new save. Yes. And it's like, basically, this is still a whole new game though, like a whole $100-hour game. But
yeah, but yeah. I think this transfer save thing is similar to the from the PS4 to the PS5. You needed a PlayStation Plus account. The only difference is PS4. Oh no. You need a PlayStation Plus account, which still costs, but you upload your saves to the cloud on the PS4, and then on the PS5 you download them. And then boom, you can take off where you left off, but there wasn't a way to not have a PS Plus account and move the saves over. So if I put a PS4 game into the PS5 and I didn't move the cloud save over, then I just have to start fresh.
Alright, well it was a little confusing, but I still want to see somebody do their full like breakdown of that so I can just know. But honestly, Tears of the Kingdom is fine the way it is. Actually, I don't have a problem with it. Like, I understand it's a 30 frame game, but like you don't really move fast like that in Tears of the Kingdom. You don't really do a whole bunch of fast pace action and stuff. It's actually a lot of just climbing mountains and the things and listening to soft piano music, and you know, you don't have super speed and all of that, so it's not really that much of a deal for me. But I do still want to see, you know, some more information on that as time goes on. All right, we at the 1 hour mark. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick because we can start wrapping a bunch of the stuff up. Epic Games. We always have some time for Epic Games where we talk about, you know, new games or new-ish games, because some of them are probably old, but stuff that they give away for free, things that you can you know, have without paying for. You don't even have to have your credit card on file, debit card on file. You just create a profile under Epic Games and start claiming these games every week, sometimes more than once a week. And then you can log in on like a handheld or a regular PC, and then lo and behold, boom, you know, all these games that you have like claimed over the years is right there for you to play. So available right now until May 1st is a game, I believe it's called Albion Online, which is like a GIF add-on to the base game. I believe you do need to go and search the base game and add that too in order to get this, but I think both are free. So there's like a 1-2 step for that. And then Chuchel, did I say that right?
I think so.
I don't know. Some other weird like munchkin little game with some stuff going on. But listen, free is free. You can't complain when it's free. I don't know what's going on with these games, but free is free. So please enjoy it. And then the next thing, which is from May 1st to May 8th, is a game called Super Space. Is it Super Space Club, I believe?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know much about that one either. It's crazy to say May. Like we're just marching to like half of the year being over. That's just insane. But yeah, May 1st to May 8th. This will be available. And that's Epic Games. I don't really have too many sales going on right now. I didn't grab anything off of from Steam. This week I didn't really grab anything. Anything happening from the Amazon world? Anything we should be aware of at all?
So I mentioned the games a couple, or the last show. All of them are out and available, so go ahead and grab those. And then the next batch of 15 or so will be announced like in a week or two.
15 is crazy. Is it really 15? Because
like 15 to 20 games. Yep.
Yeah, that'll last you the rest of the year. You don't need none of this stuff that we didn't talked about on any system. If you're talking 15.
Yep.
What are some of those titles, you know?
Some of them, they've been giving away the Mafia games, one per month. So I think Mafia 3, is just given away this month. They love to do the Deus Ex games, and then a bunch of like indie titles. So let's see what they brought up. So recently, Minecraft Legends, was one of the more recent, probably because of the movie, you know, being out. And then they also have, Gloomhaven. If you want turn-based, like, Baldur's Gate 3-ish, but you want the Dark Souls version of it, Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is unforgiving. To make a point, I can't get past the first dungeon. And I remember this was based off of a board game. And even with friends, we failed the first dungeon 3 times. And had to pretty much like restart and like really figure it out. Like you have to really plan out and figure out what you're doing. The idea is supposed to be it's one of the ones where it's like more like that Marvel Midnight Suns where you have like cards and that determines what you can do for the turn. But like each turn you're starting to lose cards until you're running out of things to do. And you have so many enemies to get through for the dungeon, and then a lot of times it unlocks more enemies, so there's no like wasting time, wasting movement. and you have to keep track of your health. And early on, you have really low health,
Hmm.
to the point where it's just like our tank, like the tank could take maybe 2 hits, and then like that was gonna be over. So play carefully. The game is not forgiving, but if you really want a challenge, that's one of them. Uh, Kraken Academy, Troublemaker. Yeah, they have some of these like random, you never heard of them. God's Trigger, but then yeah, Mafia 3 was also given away this month, and Deus Ex Invisible War. Last month was Mafia 2 and Saints Row the Third. So, yep, we got some good stuff.
I do want to mention, for me, the summer of Game Pass is in full effect. I have a full list of stuff here that I have installed on a bunch of stuff. I installed it on the Rogue Ally, installed it on the Series X, and on PC. So Forza Horizon 5, Forza Horizon Motorsport, Flight Simulator 2024 edition, obviously Expedition33, South of Midnight. There's a game called The Gunk. If anybody was familiar with that. Doom the Dark Ages is not out yet. I will be downloading that one day one as well. Ninja Gaiden Black 2. And then technically Ninja Gaiden Black, the first one I own already. So I'm going to be trying to finish that up and then going straight into Ninja Gaiden 2. And then there was a game that I'm not too familiar with that a couple people have been talking about called Blueprints. Like when he was mentioning the other Blue game, it reminded me of that name. Blueprints I put on the Rogue Ally. It doesn't look like it's too much of a graphics, type title, but I think it's more of a puzzle adventure game, and so definitely go check out Blueprints. It is on Game Pass right now. I think there's a couple other things here, but I want to mention the game that just came on the screen real quick, just for the laughs. The Patrick title was also in Game Pass. I fired it up to play for the show. This particular title I will not be returning to. This one,
Not like other SpongeBob games.
I'm gonna try to say this without being too offensive. This is the game for the people on the short bus. This ain't
Dang.
that. That's this type of game. This is for them type of people. I mean, not to each his own. If you into that world and stuff, you like SpongeBob, then have at it. But other than that, it's like, no, this is short bus material. I don't know what else to say really.
I mean, it's accurate. He's short bus material.
I'm just saying, it's like, because you can kind of tell just by looking at it, like this is short bus material for sure. So I rolled around in it for a little while, and I was like, all right, this is enough footage for the show. I got the footage for the show, and then uninstalled it. I'm like, I'm not going back to this. So that's the Patrick game. I did see online from the analytics, the game itself is 3 hours long apparently, and I was like, I can't take no more than what I took. But so just be aware that for anybody who try to like go and buy this game, I would recommend you buy the Ninja Turtle game, the Power Ranger game, Rita's Revenge, and Shredder's Revenge. Play one of them Revenges, or Rewind, my bad, Rewind. Rita's Rewind. Play one of those. You want a nice 3 hour adventure where you playing and stuff. On here, you just run around and act like the R word for a little while, and then that's it. As you can kind of see, let me stop before we get as more canceled than we already are. So in other news too, real quick news, the PlayStation's UI, the 30th edition UI that was taken from us unjustly, has returned and is no longer called the 30th anniversary edition. It's just simply the UI, right?
Yep.
They just kind of
change the background, the theme is what they call it. I was so afraid that when they brought it back, they were gonna be like, you can pick one, and then if you want to change it, you gotta pay. I had a feeling they were gonna do that, and they were just like, hey, it's back, and like, you just gotta go here to themes, and you can just change it. Like, we heard you, you want it back, it's back. So, I don't know why they took it away to begin with, but I mean, at least if anything, hopefully it's just integrated better. I did change mine, but like, I don't know if there was some like longevity bug fixes that was just, this is cool for the short run, but like it might mess up other things, and now they make sure it's not going to do that. But it doesn't sound like they're taking it away, so that's nice.
It sounded like it was pre-set up to like probably go away at a certain time frame.
Probably,
anyway.
yeah.
And so that's probably why they just was like, okay, let's bring it back.
So hopefully it's here to stay, but I'm happy.
That was my thought process behind this. That was probably what they did. How long was it gone though, if you remember?
They left I want to say at the end of January, maybe beginning of February, and then just came back like last week Thursday.
Okay, so
about 2-3 months.
It don't seem like it was gone that long. Maybe because I wasn't paying too much attention.
Time also has been kind of moving, so like you said, we're already almost in May.
Plus, you just, you look at it for a minute and then you just kind of in a game, right? So
yeah, I only noticed it because of the sounds. Like, going to different menu items, it has the classic sounds. But, I don't know, it was just like a small thing that was just like, hey, this is cool. And they're like, all right, we're taking it away. And it's like, aw, like, why? Bring it back. So it's just nice that it's there.
Now, I would like to see newer ones, Like maybe it could be themed by like classic games, big titles on the platform. Cool. Stuff that really is notable with PlayStation over the years. I don't know.
They do have a few backgrounds like that. So like under that welcome page thing, you can change the background, and then the theme is just the sounds and the little icons, what those look like. But I would like that. Like, I just miss the classic themes, like from PS3, PS4, where you could just change the whole theme of the system, where they had several with like sound, background. Some of them moved. Sometimes some of them played music the whole time. Like, I miss just themes. That was the biggest takeaway to me from the PS4 to the PS5 is you lost themes.
Yeah, that was always one thing too. Like, every time they start a new system, they seem to hit like certain reset buttons, where it's just like, at this point, like after one system hit its peak, the other one's supposed to be a step up. It's not supposed to start over. Yeah. So like we should have the themes right away. We definitely should have like the console covers and stuff right away. That was my issue with like PlayStation when they decided to do the Slim, and then again when they did their Pro and stuff. It's like, well, what if you don't want an all white system? What if you want different ones, especially with the controllers? Like if you kept buying everything, it still kept giving you the white controller. It's like, well, we got all these other different colors and stuff. Who wants to have 2 or 3 white controllers? Yep. Because I remember when I first got the PS5 in the very, very beginning, the controller wasn't really that fast. So, or not fast, but it didn't have that much of a battery life. So I needed a second controller, but there were no colors in the beginning. So I had to literally get another white controller that was like at full price. And I'm like, I wanted a different type of controller, and they didn't have it. And even now, I still would have liked to have the gray and black controller that they called the 30th edition, but they don't want to make it available. It's like, that's the other thing they need to bring back too, is making that fully available. Because it ain't nothing but a color change, and then you can't do it. So I don't think that's acceptable. It's like, yo, we got people who want this thing, make it available so people can get it. Yeah, but other quick news. So Baldur's Gate 3, you wanted to mention too, that they have finally patched it.
So for Baldur's Gate 3 released patch 8, It is their final patch. They added another subclass for every class, along with some other stuff. One of the subclasses looks fun. It's called the Swarm Keeper, where you can basically surround yourself with bees that just do all your attacking and stuff for you. But they said other than bug fixes, so they'll still be doing bug fixes. They're not going to be releasing like any more content. So if you haven't started Baldur's Gate 3 and you've been wanting to get into it, the final version is now available.
That's a good segue too, because I know somebody who really, really likes that game. He's now playing it right now, and he's like extra excited about Oblivion because he said that was his childhood, and he knows about a lot of different bugs that's in the game. He's excited that apparently a lot of the same bugs are still there. It's just everything looks better and it's a little bit more fine-tuned.
So I bought Oblivion. I went ahead and bought it and I started it yesterday. Here's the thing. One, to me, this is like a remake kind of done correctly. So the game's like 25 years old. It's not 4 years old. Two, graphically, it has been enough time that it looks way better now versus like The Last of Us Part 2 to The Last of Us Part 2 remake, right? Where it was just like, look, a little more dirt. Like, this is like done correctly. Like, they showed images of like how the Khajiit, the cat people looked, where before it was of its time, right? Like, everything looks wonderful now. It runs smooth, it looks great, it plays great. And another the reason why I think this is a big deal for this re-release is, one, how many times, like, you know, Skyrim over the past 10 years has just, or 15 years has just been released over and over. And when I became of like RPG age, where I was actually into those, Skyrim was the one that was out. So I kind of missed Elder Scrolls 1 through 4. And there wasn't really like a reason to go back and play them, right? Because like Skyrim was good enough on its own. And as people are now waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, and there's some people out there who, by the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, they're going to be the, like, you know, RPG age or even adults where they never played 4, and maybe they even missed Skyrim. It's crazy to think that, you know, game's that old, but like maybe they missed it, and like now as you're trying to tell them to jump into 6, now you're making at least 4 and 5 is still accessible in a way where it doesn't also feel dated and you have to just like play it to like, you know, appreciate the old stuff. Like, it can look new-ish and feel updated to get you into it as we wait for Elder Scrolls 6 to come out. So I feel like this is like a properly timed remake. Like, it's not just a weird, doesn't feel like as much as a cash grab. It feels like a proper remake time frame.
Where did you buy it? You should have told me. We could have got some of the footage because I ain't really.
Oh, my bad. I bought it yesterday. I haven't done, like, I done a little bit at the beginning, but not enough that like it would have. I mean, I guess I would have had some substantial stuff. So I'll make sure to get the footage for next time.
You bought it for what system?
PlayStation.
You bought it. Was it you bought it physical or in the store?
Oh, in the the digital, because they don't have a physical copy of it. But I knew my PlayStation would be more optimized versus my PC. I don't have to turn anything down.
I every time that I turn on Game Pass, that's the first game that shows up. Like, it loads with the Oblivion like logo and stuff. And I'm like, oh my god.
On PlayStation, I have to search it in order to get it in the store. And what was whack was like, so I typed in like OBL, and like nothing was really coming up. And I'm like OBLI, and it was giving me PS like 4 or PS3 old school Oblivion, and then advertising Elder Scrolls Online. And I'm like, are you serious right now? So I had to go back and type in Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remake, and then it pops up. Like, it doesn't pop up on the main screen. It makes you search it. Almost like PlayStation's trying to say, like, you don't want that. But it was still 50. It was 50. I don't mind buying this one. Like, I've been kind of like floundering around on some of the games I've been playing. Like some of them, they're okay, but it feels like I'm like trying to play it to get through it, and not that I actually want to play them. So because of that, it's like things that I probably would have enjoyed is just a kind of meh. And then if things are getting a little too tough, and then I'm getting annoyed versus like wanting to actually figure it out. So it's just kind of like I need something I actually want to play, and then Oblivion is something I want to play. So I just went ahead and I bought it. It was like late last night. I played it for like maybe an hour. And then went to go watch something because I was getting tired, and I had planned on going back to play it, and that was going to be the footage I recorded, and then just never went back.
I think we should wrap this footage up a little bit. As you can see, I was drawing a nice young lady, but I don't know if it's too YouTube friendly. So let's get this wrapped up. But anyways,
But I will say, real quick, one thing that I also wanted to mention was that Bethesda is still supporting the modders. So there is a mod called Skyblivion where people made Oblivion but under the Skyrim graphics because it was still a big graphical leap between the two. So they were doing that, and you can mod it and things like that. Now, when they made Oblivion, they're using two separate like engines to make it. Like they were using like Unreal Engine for like updating the graphics, but while sticking to the old engine to like make sure all the game stuff works. And because of that, it kind of makes modding a bit difficult. People are figuring it out, but it makes modding like a little more difficult to do. But they weren't trying to like cease and desist Skyblivion, which is already a modded version of Oblivion. Instead, they sent them like the whole team the game keys for Oblivion and told them like we have no intention of shutting you down, keep doing your thing. So it's almost like if you want just a one-to-one natural remake of the game, you get Oblivion. If you want the modded, like a modded fun, like we'll do whatever you want, you go ahead and get Skyblivion, and Bethesda has no issue with it.
yeah.
Which is nice to see because they could have easily been like, we're remaking it, DMC, take it down, take down our game. Like they're like, no, like keep modding, keep doing your thing. Here's some keys.
Yeah, like I said before, man, Game Pass is on fire right now. It is so much stuff. But I have been seeing like a lot of people saying they don't know which game to play right now as far as between Oblivion and Expedition33. That's been like a big pool for a lot of people. But I ultimately had chose Expedition. But I do think Oblivion is definitely going to be the next one that's in my rotation. Outside of like Ninja Gaiden, but yeah.
Real quick, one other thing I thought it was funny. I looked up how long to beat for Oblivion just to see what it says. And if you play the main story, it's 11 hours. Main and extra, 110 hours.
Yeah, you can just go in there and get lost in the world.
Story, just boom, but yeah.
Yeah, go get lost in the world, enjoy it, and really run around and get to see all of the different people in there, different creatures and stuff. Because I know they was mentioning like they have more room to do some new voice acting and things like that. Because before, sometimes a lot of the different people could sound the same, and now they're saying, hey, we got room, we can make it bigger and better. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing, because that was technically supposed to be a shadow drop, but it was kind of leaked 2-3 days beforehand. But that's still a big deal. That's because with everything that they have coming out on that platform right now, like to shadow drop something like that, that says that we have a lot, you know what I mean? And we don't have time to really promote everything. We just got to move accordingly. And Oblivion might not be as big as some of the stuff they have coming out, which is crazy to say. But yeah, they just threw it out there and said, here you go. Here it is. And the internet is eating it up by storm. For me, I did buy the original Oblivion and hadn't played it yet, but I'm probably only going to play this version. And then I do have a modern version of Skyrim, one of the Skyrims. And so I would naturally go back into that next after this, with probably a little bit of time in between. With so many titles and stuff. Yeah, with so much stuff out, I don't know if I would play every side mission or whatever. I might be one of those people that lean towards like 30, 40 hours, beat the main story and so a couple other things, but still, it's just a lot to play. And I appreciate that even when something's old that they're bringing back, it's not like 2 years old or something. Like I remember seeing a picture of somebody saying with Zelda Breath of the Wild or something. Here's the remaster, and it's like Link waving, and it looks exactly the same from one screen to the next. I'm sure a lot of people seen that one. That's one of the more popular ones. It's like if you were bringing something and it's looking like a AAA or AA title, and it was something from Game Boy Advance, that's one thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know, from
2 years old does not need a remake. Like when they kept re-releasing Last of Us, and it was like, dude,
we didn't really.
The original held up really well. It was already graphically fantastic. You didn't do anything. Versus, like I said, for this game, like trying to play. If you play this one and then you go back to the old one, you have to have some like nostalgia in you because it's graphically it is like almost Oblivion's looking better than the Skyrim now.
Yeah. The cool thing about it is it's not something that's like only a year old or whatever, and then they're not doing what Last of Us was doing. Like we didn't really cover it, but Last of Us, I thought that was kind of ridiculous. I were just like, well, here's both games. We're gonna call it complete and then charge $110 for it or something like that. Which is just goofy. It's goofy. It's like it's nothing really changing, and I haven't really watched the second season at all of the show, but I think it has something to do with that. Like, well, people can just it's like they don't think people can Google, like people can't go find something that was old. It's like there's a whole group of people who sat there and Googled Among Us and it was old and they found it. So I feel like if they can do that, they can find Last of Us and everything else. But I mean, hey, it's their companies, is how they run it. But I think that's really it. I do want to mention next week I'll have some breakdown information on Metroid Prime 1, Metroid Prime Remastered. I did play that game and roll credits on it, and we don't have too much time to talk about it here, so I will talk about that next week. But I got one final topic for my co-host and I that will last us maybe 2 minutes until we finish this topic, and then we can get up out of here. My co-host does not know this. Lords of the Fallen has done a new patch, and this apparently is a very big patch. They have patched the game, and they're calling it the official 2.0. And I know my co-host is so excited to go back and play this, but let me just at least explain what's going on before we jump back into this one. But apparently, you know, they've overhauled the whole thing. It's balanced a little bit better. You know, I don't know yet. The only way to know is if we play it. You know, I can't really tell y'all.
I'll never know.
So once my co-host plays this game and reports it back to us, then we'll know, you know, how balanced it really is. But they're in the 2.0 version of this now, and the game had a resurgence. It was considered one of the best sellers on Steam. It broke into the top 10 on Steam at some point. I didn't know how that could have happened with a game that's like 2 years old, but apparently they did it. They broke into that. Everybody's still jumping back onto this. So it's not officially Lords of the Fallen 2. It's just Lords of the Fallen 2.0 update. Still the same game. Still costs the same if you want to go buy it. You don't got to pay $80 for it. It's not even $70 anymore. And it's like playing a whole new game. How you feel about that, co-host? How you feel about that? Play a whole new game, man. It's like playing a whole new game.
No, it pisses me off even more that I played the worst version of it.
It's like they said it was playing a whole new game, man. A whole new game. And then I heard, you know, they said it sold 1 million in the first week and stuff. It's like, you know, like there are certain games out there, you know, that call themselves like game of the year, you know, can't even do that in like 2 months. But you know, this game did it in a week, man. I don't know. I'm just saying. Any words, any thoughts on that?
The game is in its case on the floor in my game room. It doesn't deserve to sit on a shelf.
Pick it up, man. Pick it up, put it right in front of you, man.
No, I
put it on the shelf. Put a magnet on it and put it on the refrigerator.
It was more lucrative to trade things in.
Hey, listen, it's one of the best games that's out there, man. It's just, it keeps getting better. Everybody keep running back to it like it was Cyberpunk, and it's still getting a sequel, man. It's getting a sequel. It's like one of the most anticipated sequels out there outside of Grand Theft Auto 6.
I'm telling you, I'm not playing.
I'm just saying. What you mean, man? They overhauled it. It's a whole new. It's all balanced and everything now, man.
I couldn't see the end of the game. It's trash. All right, I'm not playing this.
You couldn't see the end. That's why we gonna replay it so you can see the ending.
No, I suffered.
You didn't see the ending, so that's why we gotta replay it so you can see the ending, man.
Through that pile of trash, just get to the end for it to freeze, to have to spend my own time to look it up for some abstract 4-minute piece of crap. I'm not playing that game.
Listen, and what's so icing on the cake, man? It's in Game Pass right along all these other cool games, man. It's just right there, man.
Don't waste your
newest
time.
It's right there. You can play it on a whole nother system. We can play it on PC, man. It'll be a whole nother experience.
Play it on something that actually deserves it, like Clair Obscur or Oblivion or this Patrick game. Do not play it.
Last of Us Part Last of the Lords of the Fallen 2.0 the 2.0 patch.
I don't care.
I'm just saying, man, it broke into the top 10. Clearly, the people is waiting for the sequel. I can't wait to see the sequel. I know my co-hosts will be camping outside a GameStop the night before to get this game. I don't have anything else. I think we've covered everything. It's very long podcast, hour and a half. Anything else you wanted to say? Any last words about Lords of the Fallen? No? All right. My co-host will be playing it. He will be telling us about how much better it is. We'll check in with him in that game next week. He got it right there, like he said. He got it on the floor. He just pick it up, put it right in the system right now. Anyways, for everybody else, enjoy this nice new weather. We're getting into our hotter weather, and I'm excited. I'm excited about all of the video game directs, shows, however they call themselves, that's going to be coming out all throughout the first week of June. We're about a month and a half away. And I know, like, in the middle of that, I'm going to be playing so many cool things on Game Pass, and then they're going to be dropping so many things, because I think something else probably going to shadow drop in the middle of that. I know it is. And there's going to be a whole bunch of announcements made for the holiday season, which is going to be exciting. So that's it. That's all I got for you here. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I will see you next week. Peace.